Anti-poaching efforts in recent years have seen the number of mountain gorillas steadily increasing, but the killing in Uganda in June of Rafiki, the famous gorilla, is a setback to conservation efforts. To talk more about the gorillas, we're joined by Sudi Bamulesewa from the African Wildlife Foundation in Uganda. Very good morning to you. Before we find out what's happening now and how you are protecting gorillas, tell us what happened to Rafiki. How did this incident come about?
Good morning. What happened was during the lockdown, around March of this year, government of Uganda locked down the country, and because of that, the airports were closed and their movements was limited. So because of limited movements and the loss of employment because of the lockdown, people started looking for alternative sources of livelihoods. So what happened in Windi, this is the area where the Rafiki was. One gentleman went into the bush looking for bushmeat. In the process, as he was moving out in the bush to set the traps, he gets into contact with gets face to face with this family that is headed by Rafiki. So Rafiki, being the head of the family, started charging, protecting the family. So the gentleman in defense, as is testified later, he pulled an arrow and aimed at Rafiki, killing him instantly.
All right. I mean, so obviously a devastating loss considering how important gorillas are to the world, our survival, and also the economic impact of gorillas. Talk us a little bit about how communities and the countries that have gorillas benefit from their presence and livelihood.
Yeah, gorillas and gorilla tourism in this country is also significant. Uganda depends primarily on tourism for foreign income, and gorilla tourism contributes approximately 60 to 70% of all the incomes that comes from tourism. So this is the money that supports protecting all the other protected areas within the country, and also this is part of the money that is used to support the community adjacent to the protected area in Windi. African Wildlife Foundation has supported the conservation of gorillas in Windi for two purposes. One is to support conservation, but also two, to ensure that the communities benefit from gorilla tourism. As I said, 20% of all the revenues that come from gorilla tourism filters into the community. Therefore, the community derive their livelihoods from gorilla tourism.
And what can you do at the moment to get more people back? I mean, is there still a fear factor? I should imagine that you've got everything in place to make sure that people are safe from the coronavirus when they go to visit the gorillas and, you know, from the animals themselves.
Yeah, Uganda Wildlife Authority, which is the agency responsible for conservation in the country, has developed standard operating procedures for whoever is going into the parks, and especially those that are going into what we call the primate parks, including Windi and Mugahinga. So whoever is going into the parks has to ensure that we have to ensure that they follow the standard operating procedures. I mean, some of them are the best, like, you know, wearing masks, having their temperatures taken, ensuring that they don't get close to the wildlife. In July of this year, government of Uganda opened access to the parks, and then in August, that was the Savannah parks, and then in August of this year, government again opened tourism into the primate parks.
Sudi, sir, I'm going to jump in here because we are running out of time, but can you just tell us briefly? I've never seen a gorilla. I would love that experience. Tell us how it makes you feel when you see this magnificent animal. What's it?
Well, it is so huge, it's so exciting, but at the same time they are very calm, especially if they are very habituated. If they are habituated, you will enjoy looking at them. They will sit and look at you, and they play their games. So it's exciting. I can only encourage you to come in and visit and look at them physically.
Okay, we would love to. Sudi, thank you for talking to us, and good luck in looking after them.
Thank you.